Welcome back to another episode of LKT Sports Talk. I'm here, Ben. How you doing, Alex?
Man, I am doing good. Been watching some great hockey. Excited for the finals.
Yes, sir. Took another little bit of a break, but perfect timing to come back. Ready for the Stanley Cup Final. But first thing we want to talk about here is a quick little partnership with for Locker Sports here. As you can see on the screen, got a nice team here. The Oshawa Generals of the OHL, for those that don't know, are and if you don't know the OHL or the Oshawa Generals and you're watching the show. Figure it out, but so we're partnering with the Oshawa Generals. We're going to be the official blockchain and NFT partners of the team. So what we're doing here is, we're going to release some NFTs with them. We're doing this thing which I'm so excited for. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going to try and get one myself. Let's just see how it goes, but I got to keep it fair. So what you can see here, it's the Generals Elite Pass. So what this is if you own this NFT, there's one of 15. They're all free. You have to win it. It's through random prizes and everything. You get the most exclusive of prizes that you can get, right? So player meet and greets, locker room access, signed jerseys, exclusive team events, like all these awesome rewards that not even just Generals fans, that any fans will go nuts for, right? And Oshawa was so stoked to have this going, and we've had some feedback from some fans. It's going to be good. So it's going to be super simple. What you can do is we're going to do a weekly elite pass giveaway. So you go to the site here, and then you just click claim NFT, and you'll be put in for your chance to win your elite pass. It's going to be awesome. Keep your eye out for it. Everything's all the links are in the bio. It's going to be great. Alex, what do you think of that? I always got to ask that one, because this one I'm so excited for it, because we have Rogla, obviously massive team, Bolzano, massive team, Manchester, massive team. But this is our first team in the North American market, and the North American market is a whole other ballgame. No disrespect, of course, in any shape, way, or form to the European market, but the North American hockey market is the top upper echelon of hockey. Alex, what do you think, bud?
Man, it's really exciting. It's super exciting for me because it's basically my local team. That's the team that I went out and I saw 2 games there last year. Thanks to my brother-in-law. He got us some tickets. And this is definitely something I'm going to be getting myself involved in. I really love the possibility of getting to maybe meet some of the players, some signed jerseys. I mean, that all sounds pretty exciting to me.
Yeah, man, it's going to be sweet. I think fans are loving it already. It's going to be awesome to see. So we're going to jump back into the playoffs here. What do we got here? So welcome to the finals, everybody. It's a long road. We made it. Tough season for some, but it was fun the whole way through. Okay, so what we're going to do is, because we missed it, we're going to cover the Eastern and Western Conference finals. So we'll start with the Florida Panthers and Carolina Hurricanes. Whoa. Ooh, okay. That was out of nowhere. Did I expect the Panthers to win? Personally, yes. Did I expect them to win in 4? No, not at all. They came ready to play, these guys. Oh my gosh, man. They were so I'm gonna smack your face in and then I'm gonna score. That was some as the Hanson brothers say, that was some old time hockey, and I loved watching that. That was an incredible series. And I know the score looks like, oh, the Hurricanes blew it. No, they didn't. They didn't blow it. It was kind of even against the Leafs, but mainly against Boston in the last 3-4 games of the series. Florida came out and won that series, right? They were playing for blood. They are the team that's on that crazy roll right now, and I'm loving the way they're playing right now. Alex, what do you think of that series?
Man, it's quite shocking to me that it was a sweep. I obviously thought Carolina was going to win, and that really has blown up in my face here. My conference finals day predictions didn't really go so well.
But we've broken the tie, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, man. But besides that, I'm obviously I'm impressed with what Florida's done. You can't fluke your way through this much. I mean, they have been on the right side of seemingly every coin flip and every call or non-call, it feels like, in the last little while. But
that is true. That is very true.
They're playing that playoff type hockey, right? That's what everyone kind of says. They're riding that line and stretching it as far as they can of what they can get away with, and and they're getting the timely goals, and the goaltending's just been amazing. It's definitely in contention this year for one of those. If the Panthers lose, could Bobrovsky still win the Conn Smythe? And like, if it's a low scoring series and it goes 7, there's definitely going to be some votes for him at number 1 still, if that kind of thing happens, right? Even 100%. If he loses, and if they win, it's at least 50-50 between him and Tkachuk right now. Like, it basically feels like a coin flip.
Honestly, for me, if I have to, make that vote, don't get me wrong, Tkachuk has been incredible. But you know what? I think Bobrovsky is the sole, not the sole, of course, but if you're looking at someone to be the sole reason of why they're doing so well, it's got to be him. He's been lights out, man. Stand on his head. Like, he's not carried again, but he's carried them, right? Like, he's been, that backbone that, don't worry, guys, I got this. You can make a mistake and I'll bail you out, right? And I think that's so important.
And I think it's letting them play so much more free, right? I say about riding this line, I don't think they're that worried about taking a penalty because they're getting pretty good on the penalty kill, shutting things down, especially clogging in front of the net. The team, they're all firing on all cylinders, right? I heard it on Steve Dangle podcast recently, but they're talking about like the goaltender. Yeah, he's allowed to be good. He's part of the team, right? He's one of the guys out there. He's allowed to steal some games, and he is. Man, he's showing up in the biggest way right now. All the credit to him, right? He's kind of had these complete up and down years. That one of those up years, he got a $10 million contract for 8 or 7 years. If we all remember that contract that says he's not so good right now, well, he was good before. He was good enough to get somebody to say, "I'll give you that."
He's certainly playing like a $10 million goalie right now.
What better time, right? See if he could finish it off.
100%, dude. Yeah, like there is no doubt in my mind that he's playing like that goalie again. 2-time Vezina winner, I think, something like that. So, like 2 in a row, even maybe, I can't remember. But anyways, playing like it. So he's killer. I'm very, very excited to see what they can do in the final against the Golden Knights.
One more quick comment on Bobrovsky. Any true hockey fan will know to hammer the under on whatever his totals are for next year.
Yeah,
because he's up, man. But if they've got him at like 25 wins, I'm taking the under.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, watch. He's gonna be in the He's gonna be in the AHL next year.
I have no clue what'll happen come playoffs. Still, I don't. Yeah, this could happen again, but.
Shout out Bobrovsky, love you, bud. But so. Anyways, against the Vegas Golden Knights, who beat Dallas, I almost said Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars in, can you imagine, 4-2. Great series there. Both of the series I would have been surprised if both the series went to a sweep. Dallas didn't just, they're like, you know what, no, we're, I heard someone say it's like, oh, Vegas is just, buying their time until they get the win. And I'm like, no, man, Dallas is still a very good team. Like, they were all close games. Aside from, that last game where Vegas won, was 6-0 or something like that. That was like, okay, this is the team that everyone knows they can be and is expected to be, right? When you got Phil Kessel scratched, up in the press box eating his hot dogs, that's a good team, man. That's a good team. I know I've said it 100 times, but it's so true. Right? Like, super, super deep. Now, me personally, I am so excited for this final because I don't necessarily think that it's a lock for Vegas. On paper, yeah, it's a lock for Vegas, realistically, right? But clearly, Florida's burning every single damn piece of paper there is. So they're not sticking to that, okay, well, we're not as good on paper. Right? We got the heart, man. We got the coaching. We got the goaltending. We got the drive, right? That's the main thing with them. They got the drive, man. They got the world behind them right now. Like, they're the miracle underdog story, even though they're still an amazing team, but they are the underdog, right? So they've beaten I saw something, it was like, the teams that they've beaten were just 3 of the top 4 teams finished in the regular season, and they're beating them in dominant fashion, right? Like, they're like, this team is freaking solid. So do I think they'll knock off Vegas? Personally, no, because Vegas is just that much more solid than every other one of those 3 teams, right? All the way down the roster. Forwards, defenders, goaltending, everything. Coaching, they got it, right? I'm excited. and I love to see that. I'm so excited to see that Paul Maurice forechecking against Vegas' fantastic defense, and goaltending. But I don't know. I think Vegas edges them out. If we're gonna call it, I'm gonna say it in 6. But that's my pick. Alex, what do you got?
So definitely this series to me, it was funny that it got more intense once Jamie Benn was taken out, and then Dallas kind of made the series.
Let's talk about that real quick. Actually,
yeah,
was that bad?
That was awful. That was awful to play. They've got to do things differently. Like it's ridiculous he didn't come out and say something. Like, could hockey players just for once just say, "Hey, man, that I made a mistake. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like I made a mistake. I'm sorry. 4 words. 4 words. He could have said 4 words, and it would have been way better than the 24 hours he had after almost breaking Mark Stone's neck.
That was so bad, dude.
So besides how egregious the play was, I think they also did him dirty by making him still talk before the hearing, because he just went out there and was bumbling about I regret that I used my stick to land as I fell when we all saw you steady on your feet and go, you know what? I can get an extra shot in here.
Yeah.
I can get an extra shot. So I'm going to, because the hockey, the playoff way, except you took it too far, man. You took it too far. I was glad they gave him at least 2 games, man. I was glad they gave him at least 2, because I didn't know that they would. I didn't have faith that they would.
I couldn't stand that hit, honestly. Like you look at every other hit that happened in the playoffs, not even one that were suspended. Ones that maybe there should have been, ones that maybe should have more, whatever. That to me was by far the worst, right? Because you can say, "Oh, it was an accident," but who the hell falls down like that? You're a goddamn professional hockey player. You don't fall like that, right? Like that's not how you do it. I think that was. I don't want to assume, but I mean, man, it looked very deliberate, right? Like incredibly, and the result was bad. I think that's so dirty. Like you can't be doing that, especially a vet like that, to a vet like that, right? Like it's something like that. I look and I'm like, ugh, like that's ugly, right? Like that's not a good look, man. You don't do that. Like I get it, tempers flare and everything, been there, but like that's not something you do, right? That's going to bring such a negative look to you also, right? Someone like Jamie Benn, he has a very good reputation in the league, right? He's known as a leader. He's a great player, seems like a great dude, right? But I'm not saying this takes away from him, but now some people are going to be like, well, remember when he made that disgustingly dirty play that was like pretty looking deliberate? I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah, like the one he did to Larkin a couple years back as well, right? Like I mean, for Jamie Benn, it's not necessarily a one-off in his history.
Yeah, but that's fair. Yeah.
Besides that, it's disappointing to see, man. I would like to see a bit more respect in the game. Like to me, playoff hockey is you finish every check. Like right, the guy just played the puck. You check him into the boards. You don't fall on his neck if that's what you're even going to try and claim it was, which I refuse to believe. That was not a fall in by accident, at least. Besides that, though, jumping back into the series, I was glad to see Jake Ottinger kind of redeem himself a little bit. It was a real tough first couple games for him. Puck wasn't really going his way, right? The games were close enough, but he wasn't keeping Dallas in it the way that they needed to sort of have a better shot, right? And once they go down 3-0, obviously everyone's sort of thinking, well, even if they do make a series of it, it's going to be pretty dang hard to make it a series for Dallas. And they had a good effort. That game 6, though, Vegas just really showed kind of what you're talking about, right? They're so deep in every aspect. To me, that what really shines through is their defense core that can move the puck, but is also kind of mean and nasty, right? Like they're kind of perfect for the playoffs. I think Alex Pietrangelo maybe makes a little bit too much money, but that's just because I really like spreading cap money around playing fantasy GM.
Yep.
But besides that, man, the dude's unreal. And
very good.
So was Shea Theodore, right? They're getting quality minutes out of Braden McNabb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nick Hague. Like everybody's playing some really good hockey at the right time of year, and Aiden Hill is putting together a tidy little performance, right? Jonathan Quick, he's not going to be seeing the ice here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think at all. I think Aiden Hill is going to be running with this thing the entire way, and yeah, if we're going to call it, I mean, I'd want to flip you for it because I still don't believe don't believe in Florida, man. I don't.
It's hard though. It's hard too. I know what you mean. I'm only saying that because it's against Vegas. Like, maybe if it was against Dallas, it might be a little bit different. Maybe not taken away from Dallas, but like Vegas is just like, oh man, like they're so good, like they're so solid. Like I think they're going to be hard to find a hole, right? Like that's what no innuendos or anything, but that's what Florida's good at, finding that hole, right? And just getting in there, right? Like so but that's true. They find the weakness in especially a team's defense and just exploits it. And that's what their coaching and their forechecking, resulting in coaching, has been so great at doing. And I just don't think that, like you just said, like the last defenseman you named was Nicholas Hag. It's a damn good defenseman, right? Like if that's their worst defenseman, then come on, right? That's going to be freaking hard to do. So I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to go. I am calling Vegas in 6, but it could go either way. Alex, if you have to call the amount of games, what do you got?
I would prefer to take Vegas in 5 over Vegas in 7.
Fair.
I think there's more of a chance that it's 5 than 7.
Okay. Well, on that note, we'll move down to our little call your shot and.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tie has been broken. So Florida got it. That's 1 for Ben, and Vegas got it. That's 2 for Ben. How's it going? So I'll take it. So I mean, maybe we'll have some fun with it. We'll do our last section to call your shot, and just for the funsies, the playoff counts as 2. The finals count as 2. All right, Alex, you get the first. You get the first pick.
I can tie it back up again. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, yeah, man. I think Vegas in 5. I think that's what I would take.
Okay, Alex there, and then maybe we'll even add some more fun to it. On 5, maybe we'll like double the points or something like that. We'll figure that part out. Well, we'll stick to what we got for now. So Vegas in 5. I got. I guess I'll take, if I have to take Florida. I guess I'll take Florida in 6.
So what you said, Vegas in 6 and Florida in 6 is basically, you think it would basically go to 6, right? That's more or less what you're calling.
Yeah. I think if Florida does do it, they're gonna punch it. It might take them a game or two where they slip up on it, but I mean, again, I still got Vegas, but I mean, I could totally see a world where Florida wins, man. I could totally see it. They've made it this far, right? Who says they're gonna stop now?
Don't go to overtime against them, man. Have they lost? I don't think they've lost in overtime, right?
I don't think so either. They played freaking. I just want to say, call me a dedicated hockey fan if you want. I stayed up for that game. I was up anyways, but I watched that whole game until 2 in the damn morning Eastern time. That was a long game, but I'll tell you, I just want to say, what a game! Oh my God, what a game! Goaltending extravaganza. That's what I kept saying. Beautiful, but very long. Anyways, so we'll stick to that. But that's what we got for the Eastern Conference. A little bit shorter, obviously, because whatever. But we're gonna cover the finals as it goes along. But new news, because we keep talking about these things, but we're a non-biased show. It's just the talk in the hockey world right now, because everybody knows the Toronto Maple Leafs are the epicenter of the hockey world. What do you think, Alex, of Brad Treliving stepping in as GM? First, let me cut you off real quick. What do you think of Dubas leaving?
Man, I thought we were gonna see more character development from him this summer. I think his general managing style has evolved since he took over, and he kind of used. Well, the one line that I remember he kept from Lou was, "If you have time, use it." And it just feels like Brandon suddenly was like, you know what? You're out of time. Forget it. I'm doing something else. Obviously we've heard of other reasons too. It felt like it was more.
I don't want to get into the speculation of it. I'm just looking at it as, okay, they're moving on.
But yeah, so for me, disappointed, because I like what he brought to the organization, what he brought in the role, and what he brought with sort of asset management and talent evaluation. I think he was primed to maybe make a big move this summer, and I think he was the best position to lock in Austin Matthews, who I still want as a Toronto Maple Leaf. You might see me
Yes.
on Twitter saying if he's not signed by July 1, trade him. But that's also my view as well, because I don't think you can let these players hold you hostage as a team, because,
Exactly.
I'm a Dubasite. I love him. I would get it. Like, if he went to Ottawa, man, I would maybe get a jersey with his name just as sort of that troll job. I would never wear it against the Leafs, especially. But
No, come on.
I would see it and enjoy it. And to the same degree, I also still would want the Leafs to win the game.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see where he lands in all this. I'm with the Leafs and where they're going. I mean, if you want to get into that, or you want to touch on Dubas here first.
So quick on Dubas, yeah. On his landing spots, at least. If he lands in Pittsburgh, fun, enticing for sure. We'll see what he can do with the cast they have there, because you know that they're not getting traded. If he lands in Ottawa, look out. Ottawa is going to be good. They're already really getting there. Ottawa is going to be fantastic if he can be GM. On the note of him leaving Toronto, do I think it was a good option? Personally, no. I think that was not the brightest move. Whatever details and whatever there was beside it or behind it, in any direction of it, that doesn't matter. I'm looking solely at the purpose of what he did for the team and his abilities of doing, right? He is an excellent GM. And it's not like, Leafs bias and saying, oh, every GM's great. Oh, no. Leafs have had some bad GMs. Every team has. It's what it is. But he did an excellent job. Look at the signings, however you want, blah, 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 the big contracts and all that crap. But you know what? Like, these players are still good. Do they perform in the playoffs sometimes? No. But is that his fault? No. He's fielded the damn teams to make it happen. It's then up to the team and the coaching to do the rest, right? Maybe the latter more important. But still. Now, that being said, do I think True Living is going to come in and do an excellent job? Hell yeah. I think he's going to do a great job. I think he's actually the perfect GM for this role. I would have liked to see, maybe there's someone from London come in, but I mean, still, it would have been nice. But I mean, I think True Living's going to do a great job. He did a great job with Calgary up until I think he left mid-season, or not mid-season. What was it, April, May, something like that. But anyways, I think he's going to do a great job, right? He's good at picking up players. He's a hard ass too when it comes to contracts. So I really like, the teams that he fields. I'm enticed to see what he's going to do. Do I think it's going to be good? Absolutely. I think he's going to field a very good team. But like we said in the last episode, and what's our needs and what needs to be done, or what we think needs to be done for this team. Number one is, unfortunately, get Mr. Keefe out of there, right? And let him go somewhere else, right? Not saying okay, peace, see you later. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. But go coach another team, right? You're not dead. You're not dead in the water on coaching. You'll get another job, no problem, right? But I think for this team in Toronto, and especially with the media and all that fun stuff, it needs to be a veteran coach, someone like a Bruce Boudreau, or another person from London. But I really like where they're going. I was a little surprised to see True Living get signed so early, or so soon rather. But I mean, you got to do it, right? Do I think he's going to move any of the big four? I don't know. Dubas said he wasn't going to do it. Shanahan kind of said he wasn't going to do it, but he doesn't really get to make that decision. So I don't know. We'll see. I think the future is very open with this team right now. Could they tear it down and go for a rebuild? Who knows? But I don't think so. But I mean, I'm really excited to see what he can do with the team. What do you think of True Living, Alex?
All right. So I got to touch on a couple of things. One thing came to mind lastly on Dubas, and you mentioned about paying contracts. I saw it on Twitter mentioned as well that if your big mistake as a GM is that you paid your superstar players maybe $1 million or $2 million too much, instead of paying those depth guys $1 million or $2 million too much, it's just mathematically a better thing to do, right? If Mitch Marner's only a $9 million player, well, the Leafs overpaid him by about 18%. An 18% overpayment on a $4 million player is $360,000. So that's 4 to 4.4, right? And just to point out, maybe a $4.5 million contract that maybe didn't go so well for Calgary was that Troy Brouwer deal. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm worried about. That deal was a $4.5 million 4-year deal that was bought out 2 years later, and then he signed a $900,000 deal. That guy's younger than Mark Giordano, and he hasn't played hockey in the NHL in 2 years.
That's true. Yeah.
all I loved about Dubas was his asset management and his sort of approach to players. He treated people with respect. He treated them with compassion, right? You saw guys get injured and he's on the phone with the family while he's halfway down the stairs, literally almost looking like a hazard to himself. He's moving so dang quick. I liked that, man. I felt that this man cared for the team. He cared for the organization. He cared for the players, right? Maybe to his fault sometimes, but I think he was learning that and learning to evolve in his role. And yeah, wherever he goes, man, it's going to be exciting. I think those are both great landing spots. I hope he picks one of them soon so he can start getting in there and making some moves as well, or getting ready. Because
Exactly.
I think with Brad Treliving coming here, I don't think he's going to be shy about making some moves. And I think for me, if we're going to calling a shot here, my man Willie, I think he's gone, man.
I think so too.
I think he's the primed one to be able to be used to bring in what he sees as the piece we need or whatever. But I don't think he's got the organizational blessing to really try and trade Austin. That they would they really want to lock the contract in. And I think and from everything Austin said, he does want to sign, but it sounded like not before July 1. It's like, oh, I do want to sign, but not before I have all the power in the situation. let me first get that leverage of my no move contract clause right kicked in, and then let's really get the numbers going.
Yeah, exactly. On Willie's got to be the guy, right? Like again, like we said in the last hour, like it's gonna suck to see him go, right? But now that Treliving is in, look at Calgary in the past little bit. Very defensive focused, right? Good names on defense. So there's some good names in Toronto, but I mean, I think he's gonna look to move Willie strictly because of the contract, right? Like he could ask for whatever. He could say, I want a blank check, right? And they're kind of forced to give it to him, right? Because he's proven it. He's proven he's an excellent player and he can hang for $9.5 million if he really wants, so however much it is. But anyways, like I think he's gonna get moved for like, a number one defenseman, someone maybe to play along with Riley. That's what I kind of think, but we'll see. Alex, you're making a face. What do you got?
So that's the other move that I think could be possible. And now, hindsight's always 20/20. You don't win in the playoffs. Well, you shouldn't have made this move. Well, now that Dubas is gone and somebody new is in, a guy that I wish we still had in the fold was Rasmus Sandin, because I think Morgan Riley could also have been a prime target to have been somebody that might get moved on from, just because his offense isn't quite that number one defenseman offense. Like the points have kind of been there, but it really feels like it's carried by those goal scorers, and it should be better, right? Like his numbers should be maybe not 100 points with them, but a bit
close to it,
closer than they are, right? Especially for the paycheck he's given.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, Brad Treliving, I guess I was in favor of him. Probably as one of my leading candidates. If Eric Tulsky was actually available, or if Brandon Pridham was seriously considered, I would have been excited and happy for either of them to take over. But he does seem relatively competent. He does seem open to making a big move, and I don't think anybody really quite knows what it takes to win in hockey. All you got to do is put together a good group of guys that are good at hockey every year, and that's what it is. You see what happens in the playoffs, because I truly don't believe that the Leafs have been an incompetent team. They've been the best. Yeah. They've been the best they've been in their history over a 5-year stretch under that Dubas regime.
Yep.
And they just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. So if change is needed, fine. Shanahan has made his big change. I can't imagine there's much left for him to be able to twiddle with. So it's sort of do or die time, right? Let's see what it is.
That's the big thing, right? If this isn't it, what is? Right? You gotta, if this doesn't work, it's time to blow it up. It's time to boom, right? It's time to blow it up. Because, don't get me wrong, I love the core team, core 5, if you want to call them that, starting 5, whatever, counting Riley. But if this doesn't work, time to go. Keep, in my opinion, keep Matthews, Marner, maybe Tavares if you can, on a nice deal. But everyone else got to go. Everyone else got to go. Maybe if you want to rebuild, Leafs have a lot of good prospects. Time to go. So this has got to be it, right? The core 4, I'm sure they'll get majority of them re-signed, but this has got to be it, Mr. Treliving. Time to do your job. And I alluded to them before because you were saying who you'd like to see take over. I would love to see the Hunter boys come in. That's why I said some certain London people come in. That would have been great. I would have loved to see that. I think they would have done a great job. But, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I think it would have been fun. But I'm all in on Brad, and I think he can get it done. But on that note, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. This has been another episode of the LKT Sports Show. And we'll catch you on another episode.